Welcome to The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Today, we're diving into some heavy, disturbing news involving NFL legend Shannon Sharpe. Trigger warning, this video discusses allegations of SA. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit rain.org. All right, let's get into it.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets Black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. It should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just going to get mad at and you're just going to hang up on me. So I feel like...
I'm not going to hang up on you. You just wouldn't do it.
What does that even mean?
That's a Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so...
I don't want to be... Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Shannon Sharpe, three-time Super Bowl champion and host of the popular podcast clubshayshay, is facing serious accusations. A Nevada lawsuit filed by a woman known as Jane Doe alleges that Sharpe used his fame to manipulate, control, and essay her. The suit claims these horrific incidents took place in October 2024 and January 2025. The allegations are truly disturbing. Doe, who met Sharpe in a Los Angeles gym in 2023, says their relationship quickly turned toxic and abusive.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just going to get mad at and you're just going to hang up on me. So I feel like...
I'm not going to hang up on you. You just wouldn't do it.
What does that even mean?
That's a Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so...
I don't want to be... Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you.
She alleges that Sharpe was aggressive, threatened her, and even recorded their encounters without her consent. She's seeking over $50 million in damages. Sharpe, however, has denied these allegations, calling the lawsuit a shakedown and insisting that their relationship was entirely consensual.
If there's any kids in your room right now, you might want to put them to bed. So I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me. Gabriella Zuniga in a text message to Shannon Sharpe on October 7th, 2023. I know you missed this big juicy ass. $25,000 for each cheek. Gabriella Zuniga in a text message to Shannon Sharpe January 1st of 2025. Now, she is saying that one of the incidents she said happened in January of 2025. So to me, baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me. Text from Gabriella Zuniga to Shannon Sharpe, November 23rd, 2023. I want to put my tongue in your boop hole and then marry you. 2024. That's my daddy. Fuck, I want you to put a big black baby in me. That's August of 2024. Guys, Notori says, not baby gravy nasty. I'm like, what in the world? She said, big black baby. This was, too much for Sabby. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. What's the obsession with the big black baby?
She alleges that Sharpe was aggressive, threatened her, and even recorded their encounters without her consent. She's seeking over $50 million in damages. Sharpe, however, has denied these allegations, calling the lawsuit a shakedown and insisting that their relationship was entirely consensual. He's even released explicit text messages as part of his defense. He says he's committed to being transparent and defending himself against what he calls fraudulent claims. Adding to the drama, Jane Doe's lawyer is Tony Busby, known for his high-profile sexual misconduct cases. Busby alleges that Sharpe offered Doe $10 million to settle out of court, which she refused. Busby has also released an audio recording where Sharpe allegedly threatens Doe. This isn't the first time Sharpe has faced such allegations. Michelle Evans, in a separate New York lawsuit, alleges that Sharpe sexually assaulted her back in 2010 after an argument. Evans claims that Sharpe forcibly assaulted her and threatened to ruin her reputation. Sharpe's representatives have called these accusations ridiculous and completely without merit. In response to these recent allegations, ESPN has supported Sharpe's decision to temporarily step away from his duties. He plans to return for the 2025 NFL preseason. Sharpe's legal team argues that these allegations are concocted to take advantage of his fame. They continue to threaten defamation suits against his accusers. Sharpe is innocent until convicted by a jury of his peers. This situation is ongoing and will keep you updated as more details emerge. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please don't hesitate to reach out to the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit rain.org. This has been The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Stay safe and stay informed.
Well, how's everybody doing today? Maybe we'll get some people to come in as the stream goes on. We're talking about this big grown man, Shannon Sharpe, had a 2-year relationship. Now, let me backtrack. I think everybody knows now that Shannon is 57, about to be 58 this year. Shannon, when he was 56, he had a relationship for 2 years, starting with a woman who is significantly younger than him. When they met, he was 56 and she was 19. And now she's 21 and she is suing him for punitive damages for SA, sexual fill in the blanks. YouTube, as we all know, doesn't like certain language. In the beginning, I was conflicted because, one thing that we have talked about a lot in the United States is consent, age. What is the age of majority? When are you considered an adult? What is adulthood? Okay. So it was based on, well, when you get out of high school, you're an adult. College is optional. Graduate from high school, you're an adult. And that's at what age? 18, 17, 18. Now, the age of consent still varies from state to state. Some states, the age of sexual consent is 16. Some states, 17. But nobody's younger than 16 or 17. So I have a co-host.
No, don't put me on right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess I don't have a co-host. No. Don't put me on right now. Oh my God. What is she? What is she naked? What is she naked? But anyway, so I'm talking about Shannon Sharpe today and his relationship with Gabriella Zuniga. She was 19 when they met, and he was 56. And like I was saying, I was conflicted at first about it because though it is a huge age gap, you know, grown is grown. That's been the problem in the United States. Grown is grown. Oh wow. So see, okay. So anyway, grown is grown. I don't know everybody does not agree with that. Hold on. So I continue to ponder the situation. You know, I'm about what, 7 years younger than Shannon. Matter of fact, me and Shannon were both born at the same hospital. At my age, I would not date an 18, 19-year-old. Would I date someone that was 25? Maybe, maybe. I would really say more towards like the latter 20s. Like, I don't think I want to go younger than 28. I really would say 30. I wouldn't want to go younger than 30. But so yeah, it's been so now you're ready.
Yeah,
Now
I'm
you're
ready.
ready.
Can you
Now
hear
you're
me?
ready. Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
I was a little late.
Yeah, you were a little late. Okay, so go ahead. So chime in. You know, we don't have a lot of people watching today. We're bouncing in between 0 and 2. But I keep my word. When I say I'm gonna go live, I try. I only missed one stream. I said I was gonna do a stream, I think on the Zaya Harris for Black Girl Tragic Tuesday. And I just was tired, you know, because when you're a small content creator, you got other things going on in your life. And you have to have other ways of income. Well, one of the biggest things, like, okay, so when I put the banner up, I noticed that the person like hopped out. You know, if you can't donate to the channel or you can't gift the channel, that's fine. I get that. But you know, I see other channels getting huge, big cash out. I'm talking 3, 4, $500. Now I haven't built up to that. That's true. But a lot of my content is just as good. And if you could only give $5, that's fine. What people don't understand is that, do you want to come up here and do this? Um, do you have a skill set? Do you want to research? You know, like I know content creators that it takes them an entire 7 days to produce one video. And until you get monetized, you know, you have to have another way to pay your light bill, your gas bill, your water bill, your rent, your mortgage, your car note, your insurance, take care of your family. And as soon as
Yeah.
I put the banner up, you know, this person just hopped out. And maybe they just didn't like the content too. But which is all fine. But I'm just saying it's not easy for us content creators to come on here. I mean, please donate. If you can't donate, stay. But if you can donate to the channel, please do donate to the channel. You know, and if you only have $1.99, that's welcome. But I would rather have 5, especially if you go through, oh my God, super chat. You know, forget you, George. Uh, Google,
Did he just say ugh?
yeah, I have no money. Like Google takes half of the super chat and the super thanks. Okay, Google takes half, and that's why when you're a small content creator, you just can't be on here all day because You have to go to work. You have to go work somebody's job somewhere, you know. So I just wanted to get that out the way that it's not always a cash grab, but we're not just always e-begging and different things of that nature. I mean, it's a lot of terms that are just being like thrown around these days. It's a new term that's out, cheats. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I'm gonna get back to Shannon Sharpe. But it's
E-begging.
called no. I said the e-begging. Trauma porn. Trauma porn. Have you heard of trauma porn?
A little bit.
I'm offended. I
Why?
am because they are specifically calling the Black American experience trauma porn. Or some of our movies is like trauma porn. Excuse me? You're like, you're offended. Why are you offended? Yeah, I'm offended. What in the hell? Okay. Trauma
Trauma.
porn. I don't like some of these phrases. Okay.
I mean, for color girls, it's kind of like a trauma porn.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Precious is a trauma porn.
Mm-hmm.
You
Keep
know?
going. I'm listening.
What's love got to do with it? It's kind of like a trauma porn.
What's love got to do?
I love Tina Turner, but I hate to say that, but it's a trauma porn. I mean,
Could
if you
it?
want to see some of the most heart wrenching content, watch those movies.
Okay, I don't want you to go deep into it right now, but I do have a question for you. So you had an issue, an emergency with your cat. Did you get your cat straight?
Yes and no. I'll deal with him later. I might have to leave off and on off the stream to deal with him.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so I, I just feel like it's dismissive. That it's being dismissive of other people's pain and story, and you don't see it that way.
I mean, I think that I think some black people are just tired of the trauma phase and want to move on.
Okay.
I think that black people are kind of tired. Some black people are tired of the stuff like for color girls and the color purple and precious and stuff. They kind of want to move on. They want to do something different like science fiction or horror.
Mhm.
You know, everything is always so sad when it's equated to black people.
Well, I know you have not seen the movie Sinners yet. So I hope I am doing a review tomorrow. I hope when you finally see the movie Sinners, maybe you come back on and we could do it live and we could revisit this topic of trauma porn. That is so wild to me. That is so wild. Trauma porn. Like, lady. Okay, but anyway, I want you to go ahead and give your take on this Shannon Sharpe situation. You know, I had somebody come in the stream, and when I was saying that, I was conflicted. When I first heard that Shannon was 56 and Gabriella was 19 when they met, I was conflicted because grown is grown. And I guess they didn't like what I had to say, and they hopped out. They said, I am out the building without letting me finish. Okay. Because there's been a dichotomy in the United States with the age of majority. What is an adult? And you know, you and I was talking about this, and I was saying I never liked how in the United States you have all these different tiers of adulthood. Okay, so you can get your driver's permit when you're 15, or you used to. I don't know what they're doing now. But you used to be able to get your driver's permit at 15, get your driver's license at 16. You had to hold your permit and practice for a year before you could get your driver's license at 16. You could go off to war Okay,
Yeah. You can
lose your
handle a
life.
whole, yep, lose your life, handle a whole gun, get you some good trauma.
Right. Okay. And and come back in a body bag or come back messed up, not be given the services that you deserve, having fought for your country. And it's just so many different tiers. So 18, there was a time in this country 18-year-olds could not vote. And everybody presented this argument. If you're old enough to go and die for your country, then you're old enough to be able to vote and decide who's president.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't have to be 21. Like you and I talk a lot about how if you're 18, who really wants to rent an apartment to you?
Exactly. You can't you can't do anything when you're 18.
Most people, most property owners will not rent to someone unless they are at least 21. But if 18 is grown and it's the age of majority, then 18 is grown.
I don't understand. It's just the back and forth with people.
Okay. So, like I said, I was conflicted. That is a huge age gap. 30 some years, that's a huge age gap. But is it PDF file? No, it's not PDF file. Is it a huge age gap? Absolutely. Is it immoral? I will not say that it's immoral. I don't agree that it's immoral. I understand some people's argument that just because something is legal doesn't make it moral. People have used, of course, our ancestry, right, as the
Then
litmus.
what but what is legal, it's also moral because legality is based in moral rights.
But cheeks, they got a good comeback for you. They say that there was a time when slavery was legal and the enslavement and breaking of another person's human sovereignty was legal. That did not make it moral because it was legal. Separate but equal was legal. Did that make it moral?
No.
Okay, so what's your counter argument?
Well, well, what do you want? Do you want 21 to be the age of majority? So people got to wait what, an extra 3 years to become grown?
Are you asking me or you just posing it out into
I'm
the
just
ether?
posing the question.
Okay.
I'm like, when is grown? I think it was based on a psychological analysis that a person becomes mature when they become 18. And so they based it off of that number, that age. But these people act like that's still an adolescent. I
I
just,
think
I,
that
I, I never got that about Americans.
and don't too many other countries throughout the world do that. Once you reach the age of majority that we quote unquote call grown, you're grown. That's it. You can drink, here you can't drink until you're 21. You can't, but you're grown at 18. You can
You
go to
can't
the army at
smoke.
18. No, you can't smoke. You cannot
You can,
smoke the Mary Jane.
yeah, you can't drink. You can't smoke. Those are all parts of adulthood that you can't experience for at least 3 years.
Let me tell you, my childhood was rocky, had a lot of ebbs and flows, and I could not wait to make 18 because it was a necessity. El necesito that I become, okay, able to have in the age of majority and have autonomy over my person. I could no longer have my mom be over my person. I needed to be able to conduct my own business. I also don't like the system here how when you go to college, you need your parents' income. I'm grown. And the only way you don't need your parents' income to go attend college if you need financial aid is if you are 24 years of age or married or have a child. Now you consider grown. So it's just a paradoxical situation. So I didn't know how I felt about Shannon and the young lady. Now her accusations is more of a problem to me. Her age is a problem too. I'm gonna be honest. Just listening to the audio, I'm smoking. And you've seen my video on her allegations.
Yeah.
I believe her allegations come in because of her age, because of the huge age gap. But we have an older woman that has also accused him of sexual misconduct. So if these things are true, then he has a proclivity to abuse.
Yes. Allegedly. I will say allegedly now because I'm not trying to have nobody come after me.
Right, or us, so allegedly. I forgot. Thank you for helping out. Right.
I think that these women need to take their time when getting with some of these guys, that they have hidden agendas. Or it's not just so hidden, it's just they tell you right up front, I like such and such, and this is how I am, this is what I be. And these women, they just don't understand that. They're like, huh? Until it actually starts to happen. Then
This
they
whole
don't like it.
with Shannon has reignited certain parts of the Black gender war. And in my mind, rightly so. Because here we have a very visibly, very dark skinned, heavily melanated, purple, blue, black man dating. And you haven't seen her yet. I'm going to show it to you because I told you I want you to have a first time reaction. Okay. To what her phenotype is, what she looks like. And though he has black, his children
Who's
are with,
singing in the background?
I could have, special entertainment over here, Chief. Don't ask. Your name is Chief. Don't ask me about who is in my background or what they got going on. No, but that's my son. But anyway, because it's brought up a lot of things, a lot of issues for Black American women or Black women, as a whole. But I would think Black American women in particular, whether they want to be called FBA or ADOS or just Black American or African American still, because every group of people, this is what I need Black American women to understand. To understand every group of people, because of racism and white supremacy, every group of people, even white European groups, suffer through colorism, right? We are not the only people who have aspects of colorism in our ethnicity. But that being said, we deal with colorism. And so I've been listening to all the different shows and other people's reactions to Shannon and what's been going on. And I heard something so disturbing the other night. This one black lady, she called in on the panel, and she was saying, why is it that when black men become successful and become millionaires, they start off poor. When they're poor, they have a black girlfriend. And when they become a multimillionaire, they have a white girlfriend. And she was saying, well, why don't the black men give us a chance? And she was 35. So I'm older than her. Not that age always equates to wisdom, because we see that Shannon Sharpe is older than me and he doesn't have a lot of wisdom. But, I just felt bad for her because she was damn near begging black men to turn their attention to black women. She was saying, well, when are they going to give us a chance? So why don't they give us a chance? And I just wanted to say so badly, sweetheart, you don't beg anyone to appreciate you. You go when you are appreciated and celebrated and not tolerated. And you
There's
don't
not a
work.
lot of spaces. I don't like racial conversations like this, but it's not a lot of spaces for black women to go to feel celebrated and appreciated. And the few black spaces that black women get to have, they usually get torn down some kind of way, like Black Girl Magic. Now people are coming after that, especially Yvette Carnell. Oh, excuse me if my neighbor's lawnmower is too loud. Um,
No, it's fine.
Yvette Carnell, she's attacking Black Girl Magic. That is a celebration and a festival, I should say, that celebrates black women's excellence. And she's a black woman, a black gay woman, no less, and she's shooting that down.
Because she's male identified.
Oh, she's very male identified.
She said that black men do not have an obligation when out in public and an incident takes place. When a black woman may be attacked by another black man or
Did
a
she
man.
say that? Hold on, I need to pause my game. Did she say that?
Yes, she did.
That a black man has no obligation to help a black woman when she's in danger?
Yes.
She's diabolical.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Black Girl Magic was bad. She's diabolical. That's borderline evil. So we're just supposed to sit around and just let a woman get attacked on the subway or down the street. A lot of these incidents can be prevented or stopped if we step in and save the person. Less bodies in the cemetery. She's diabolical for that. And that's why that whole ADOS movement is falling apart.
I mean, I want ADOS to be successful. ADOS
You
has
have
its
to have good character to have a movement.
yes.
You cannot be sit up here saying salacious stuff and then want people to be rah rah and ready for your movement, because when you have a movement you have to be ready to fight.
Right.
And you want people to fight for ADOS, you want people to fight for all this stuff, you want people to fight for these reparations, and you're saying salacious stuff about the very people group that you trying to get reparations for. Black women are black people too. Have she forgot that?
I don't know how when she gets up and take that shower every day and them lady bits that she has to look at and take
Who
care
knows
of.
what she got? Who knows what she got when she takes a shower? It's probably both.
Oh my goodness.
And want people to pay for expensive conference meeting, expensive seminar. I guess the only
They
content you see
mm-hmm.
is when she finally takes care of her hair.
Uh-oh. 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 Cheeks is always gonna bring that smoke.
Smoky
I want all
cheeks.
the smoke. I like to smoke. I like to fight.
She brought the smoke. She's tearing down her own people.
Okay, so let me finish what she said. She said black men are not obligated to defend nor protect black women when in public and a violent incident occurs unless especially because these black women are not in community with these black men. She finds that to be ludicrous, asinine, and illogical.
You're
To
kind of
ask
going out.
someone
Your
to
mic sounds a little low.
oh, can you hear me now?
I don't know. Maybe let me see.
No.
Let me turn it up some more. Okay, you sound
Okay.
loud. I had to just turn up my speakers.
Yeah, because your neighbors cutting their grass, baby. They getting it. They that long cute for Mother's Day. So yeah, so let me go back there since you couldn't hear me. Yvette Carnell of ADOS Foundation said the black men are not obligated to defend black women who are not in community with them when they are out in public and an incident takes place where black women are being attacked. The black women need to join in community with black men.
This is the most dumbest thing and diabolical and downright borderline evil thing I've heard. A white guy will defend and help a white woman if he's a good person. If he has good character, he would defend a white woman or anybody. He don't have to be in community with them. He knows what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
I found what she said to be harmful and how could I phrase this? I was gonna say truthful, but I don't want to use the word truthful.
It's nothing about that is truthful, and she wonder why that whole movement is falling apart.
I want to say this. I take people, this is a better way to phrase it. I take, like Maya Angelou said, when people tell you who they are, believe them. So I'm not going to argue a tussle or quarrel with Yvette Carnell or any black man or other woman who feels that way. If you feel that way, that's fine. I never look for people to help me. I have had a lot of incidents outside, but I never look for other people to help me. I have never looked for other people too much to help me in life unless I was paying them for a service. Okay. Uh, and thank goodness we do have that. A lot of times, to me now, so I would say this. Okay, Yvette, you're saying they're not responsible, right? They're not obligated to help black women that's being attacked. So don't say anything when I call the police and he gets aired out. Because I'm calling the police. Like I said,
Wow.
I employ people, I pay people to I pay plumbers, I pay electricians, right? I pay people for services. So the police are paid by my property taxes for services. And so if you attack me, if I feel threatened, I'm calling the police on you. So when you get kneed out, kicked out, stumped out, I'm not concerned about that. And Yvette don't say anything to me. We have nothing to discuss. Remember, this man and I were not in community. And we have the rule of law here. I was attacked and I did what I needed to do. We can't have community policing, right? Isn't that what you just said? So don't write a check that your ass can't cash.
Exactly, because she'll be that very black woman being attacked.
They damn sure will attack her based on her sexual orientation alone.
Yes.
And she said Black Girl Magic was stupid, and who came up with that?
It's just really sad
But
and
you
just
want my
ridiculous.
money. But you want my
Want
money. You
for that?
want my money.
Yep.
You want my black girl magic money. You want my black girl excellence, black woman excellence money that I worked extremely hard for and work hard for every day, sometimes 7 days a week. And you
And you're
want me
right to go to some
to,
boring
I'm
seminar.
not obligated. I'm not obligated to give him my money. But I did support black and do support Black Boy Joy. The two can coexist.
Right. And they can have their own festival and stuff and
That's
seminars
great.
and stuff and invite, I don't know, Ron DMC or something there.
Walk this way.
Yeah. They can have their own seminar. Nobody's stopping them from having their own festival. One, I forgot I forgot the woman who made Black Girl Magic. She just got up one day and she was like, I'm going to create something that black girls can have. And we can have this festival and the concert and the essence and all of that. You have to carve a place for yourself in the world. You can't just expect it to just already spawn and just be there. You have to craft it. It's
Everybody else gets to love themselves, but black women. As soon as we love ourselves, it's a problem. Everybody else gets to love themselves, but when we as a collective of black people love ourselves, then that too is also a
a
problem.
problem, which is
You know,
sad. And it's also sad because Yvette is a gay woman. I'm a gay woman. And it's just, she makes me look bad.
yes,
Not
yes.
all black
You got
lesbians.
some of that sisters that do that. They are heavily male identified.
Very. And it's like, I just want to be like, well, not all black lesbians think that way. I love Black Girl Magic.
So to backtrack and stay on point, so the young lady said, she was damn near in tears. Like, why won't black men give us a chance? And who will they give us a chance, baby? Stop looking towards them to give you a chance to date you. One thing that because the gender war has died down, and in a lot of ways it's good, but then in some ways it's bad because we're not keeping at the forefront the statistics, the issues that are going on between Black American men and Black American women. At the forefront needs to be Black femicide. That's at the forefront. And we need to keep that movement going. One thing I always get people to understand, I do not hate black men. I don't walk around with hate in my heart for anybody. But I am going to advocate for myself. I am a black woman. You asking me to not love me is asinine. That's diabolical. You're asking me not to love me, to love someone else more than I love myself. That's diabolical. I don't have to hate you to love me, but because I love me and people of that same group, of course, I'm going to promote and propagate my issues, my needs, my wants, my desires. Another thing I want to say quickly, though, is that it seems to be this narrative or this thought that black women, especially the college educated black women, that we're moving as some type of monolith together. I always tease and talk about, and I messed up the thumbnail and put women and it should be woman and all of that. But we always laugh at the fact that when we listen to a lot of black men on YouTube, they always say, the black woman,
Yeah, like
flat
black
me,
woman. It's just one big woman.
one big 100-foot woman,
That's because they don't see us as people. They see us as an object.
Yeah.
And they're mad that, we're supposed to operate the way that they want us to operate. And they are mad that the machine is rebelling. We're rebelling against the machine. It's black women, not black woman.
Right. Correct. And so what I want them to understand is that we're not moving as a collective action. What happened was we watched in the 80s and in the 90s, and you got to think back, a different world comes out in the 80s, and college was promoted. It was a different world, inspired us to go to school. Now you have to couple that with the socio-economic issues that were going on in Black communities throughout the United States. The lack of functional producing fathers in the home. And nobody took him out the home but himself and his own
Yeah, he
dear
takes himself out the home.
girl every
The late car took me out the home.
day. Now you have to say EBT because everybody's not from the great state of Illinois.
My bad. The EBT card, the stamp book took me out.
Right.
You ate off the stamp book and stuff too.
Sell it.
You ate the majority of the food.
Now he should have a big piece of chicken on the food stamps.
And the midnight cereal.
Oh. And stayed in the house and stayed in the apartment or the house that was being rented and paid for by the Section 8.
Yep.
So, but
What was she
again,
supposed to do? Let the kids starve?
well, a couple of those fools did say that they didn't care if we starved to death in the 70s. But I'm supposed to be in community with him, Yvette. Now, let me backtrack again. So what I was saying was that me being a college educated Black woman, I can speak to this. We are not moving lockstep with one another. We don't know all of each other. I don't know every college educated Black woman in the United States, nor is she a part of my decision making process, nor am I a part of her decision making process for our lives. What happened was you have to reach people on an individual basis. This is the part that Black America's missing. We keep saying we got to do this for the collective, do that for the collective, do this for the collective. This is not about individualism. You missed the part. Yes, it is.
But they make it individualist when you talk about not helping someone who's being attacked. Are you shooting down festivities that help promote Black excellence?
Let's just talk about college education. Let's also talk about Black Girl Magic, the Essence Fest. How does the Essence Fest get these Black women to come? Why are Black women not only enrolling, you fools who believe that we're the most enrolled, okay? Your little Pied Piper, Kevin Samuels, told you that bull, and you actually believe it. Do you think that we would be allowed to continue to keep enrolling if we're not and taking out financial aid, if we're not actually graduating? Girl, I can't with their thought processes. But anyway, we are making decisions based on our own individual life. That goes for any Republican, Democrat, any type of any campaign. If you're selling a deodorant, if you're if you're selling leggings, what you put it out there, right? And nobody gets together and have a committee meeting and a town hall meeting. Hey, we're gonna all get together and buy Lululemon. Okay, we're gonna all get together and we're all going to college. Sharita and I, what are you going to college for? Well, I'm gonna go to college for history and global studies and international relations and public administration. We didn't sit down and have this committee meeting. I made my choices. Other black women made their choices, and we said, hey, like I keep it real. I keep it real. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I had a trying childhood, and I looked around and said, your grandparents are deceased. Your mom is a non-factor. Your dad is deceased. Now, girl, and I was like 17, 18. I said, okay, I can go to Cook County Jail. I can go to the white prison. And if anybody listening later on from Illinois, they'll know what I'm talking about because the white is actually closed now. I can go to Cook County Jail on the west side on 26th in California. I can go to the white prison, or I could go to college because I looked at it and said, I got two institutions that I'm going to end up dealing with. And I can either deal with the academic institution or I can deal with the penal institution. Now for me, I understand the girls is gangster too, but not this one. I decided, so I said, I'm gonna go to college. And it's not as easy as black men think. It's a fight.
It's a
It's
fight.
it's a fight. And so for me, I'm always saying it's about what you are focused on. We're focused on the wrong things. What do you want to fight for? Nobody owes you anything in this life but your parents. And if they fail you, now what? Charity is awesome, but charity is not always available. You cannot make someone be charitable. Thank goodness that we have institutions because I don't know where I would be without the academic institution. Well, I know where I would be. I'd be in jail. So,
Or caught up in a Shannon Sharpe situation like this.
yes, yes. And so black women don't need to feel any type of way because Shannon is a heavily melanated, multi-millionaire black American man who we see, though he has children with black women, he has a high proclivity for white women of all ages. And it's really none of our business. You have to move on. He doesn't belong to us. He belongs to Shannon.
Right, because they make that known that black women don't belong to them all the time. So you
Come on.
shouldn't so you shouldn't feel obligated to belong to them. You should live free and take people on an individual scale.
Yes. And so if her allegations are true, I'm very disappointed in Shannon. I became I always liked how Shannon talked. I liked his country. I'm a little country. I always liked his vernacular and even cheeks at
I
times.
never liked I never liked Shannon.
I know. Go ahead.
Shannon's a piece of shit because he let Ocho Cinco on his channel. Ocho is a domestic abuser. He abused his wife. What's her name
Evelyn,
again?
Evelyn
Evelyn.
Lazard.
Okay,
Yes,
he abused his wife, Evelyn Lozada. He should be canceled. He shouldn't be on that panel. That's wrong. I don't like Shannon, and I never did.
no,
I
you
just
did.
didn't talk I just didn't talk about disliking him a lot because Club Shay Shay was popping, it was popular. The Cat Williams interview had happened. Monique came on there. Glorilla was on there. So I didn't want to be like the odd man out and be like the odd guy out and be weird. So I just kept quiet and just kind of went on with it. But now that this has happened, I get to express my hatred again for him. I don't like him.
Now, why don't you like Shannon?
I don't like Shannon because of a lot of things. He's just that stereotype. He's that stereotype of the big, dark football player who got all this money and stuff and who dates white girls and stuff so he can have this complex or feeling like he's getting over because he got with the white guys, the white man's daughter or something. I don't like that. And he shits on Michael Jordan. So that's another thing.
Oh, that's right. Shut out. Shut down in the house, boy, representing Michael Jordan. So, yeah, I was again, I like Shannon and I like Club Shay Shay. I don't watch every episode, depending upon who the guest is. And I was rooting for Shannon. For all that,
Yeah, because he was like, you called me. He's like, this is sad. This is
yeah,
so sad.
and he was like, finally. Okay.
Yeah. It was just only a matter of time to happen because the way Shannon and Ocho talk about their sexual experiences all the time on their show, it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time for it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know Shannon was man. Uh I didn't know Shannon was so freaky, kinky. And when I first heard the audio, and I'll play it again. When I first heard the audio, so she recorded one of their conversations. The first thing that came to my mind was BDSM. And then the next thing
Yes. And that's
came
another
to
thing. They're giving BDSM a bad name.
hey, I'm not putting a ball in my mouth. And then the text messages back that up when she says, I want you to put a leash on me and walk me like a dog. I'm not into it. We had the biggest debate about Baby Girl, the movie Baby Girl, in that because
I
she's
love
feeling it.
Baby Girl the movie. I like it because of the message of it. She wanted that way. Women don't get to express how much they want to have sex in a certain way. They always just go along to get along, but not really satisfied. And so that's what I like about the movie. Um, but what I don't like about this whole situation, it gives BDSM a bad name and it just looks I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words. It makes the practice look bad.
Well, that's what I heard. As someone who does not like BDSM, and I've told you, I feel BDSM comes from childhood trauma and that people act out in their sex life trauma. And so they didn't have a control as a child over their childhood. Maybe they experienced, being beaten by a parents, whatever, guardians, or some other type of, maybe they were sexually abused as a child. And so now they grow up and in their bedroom life, they want to choke their partner. They want to spank their partner. Matter of fact, somebody was saying, oh, that was Jaguar Wright the other day. She said that it is this young white woman. She had a husband. She has a husband, children. She's a practitioner of BDSM, and this man hired her, and she accidentally, I think it was an accident, unalived him, wrapped him
Whoa.
up. Yeah, wrapped him up in a bag, tried to bury him. It's a big mess. But she was convicted. I believe Jag said she was convicted. And how she was convicted was because she they're looking for the safe word. They were looking for in the text messages, did she ask him to do that to him? or did she take that upon herself?
But that's the thing. When you do BDSM and you say yes, you don't have any more control. You are the submissive, and you have to sit and stand and be on standby for whatever the dominator has in store for you. You don't get to choose what happens to you. Now, I think she went overboard with it. You ain't got to put nobody in a bag and shit and ziplock it and try to
Right,
bury them in the ground.
right.
But it's up to the dominatrix to choose what they want to do to you. You don't have a choice. When you say yes, you give away all your sovereignty and all your humanity in that moment to that person. They have complete control and power over you. You
So
don't get to choose.
when I heard the tape and I read the text message, that was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, oh, Shannon likes BDSM, and by her being so young and him not practicing it
Properly.
and fully explaining this to her, that I said, that's the thing. When they go to court, Tony Busby is going to be hard pressed to prove that this was not consensual. In his mind, in Shannon's mind, it's so muddled. This case is much bigger to me than what people think, because what came out is that Shannon has a lot of trauma and he acts it out in his sex life. But you know what? I'm ready now. I'm going to show you the young lady who it
Okay.
is. Okay, so this is going to knock you back.
Go think I'm old cat. Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's stayed away from that.
Jonathan Major, what he went through, Marvel dropped him as soon as the conviction came out. And you were telling the
Hey, you saw that black woman come get his charge cut in half? Thank you, Megan Good. God bless you coming to save that slave. If he'd had to be there by himself, he was getting all four. Guilty. She came in there, was just so beautiful. They had to knock half of it off. Bless his heart.
So what did Kat just say right there? That
He's
Megan had to come in and say that slave. Now listen to the next part. All of this is going to be so intricate to me, because listen to what Kat is saying about how he feels about Jonathan Major's phenotype, his features. Now, Shannon is sitting here listening, laughing, and all of that, kikiing, but Shannon and Jonathan Majors are similar, are they not?
yeah.
Hard.
What do you think about this cancel culture? You see the situation with Jonathan Major. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know if maybe he can bounce back in a couple of years, but man, he was hot. He was hot. He was cooking. I mean, you see him in Creed. He's in the Marvel movies, and then just like that.
Maybe I'm a conspiracy theory, but I thought Cat Williams said any time they make you into that position, part of that contract is you do understand whenever we want to take you down, we can, right? Part of giving you the world. First of all, they went around the world for 2 years straight telling any women that would listen that this was a good-looking Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Since when? When did y'all start liking a big nose? And when did y'all like a little head and a big jaw? When? Since when? That look like my daddy. When you start liking my daddy? You like black people's feet like that? If this ugly nigga is good looking, then all niggas is good looking.
Very poignant. Can you hear me, Cheeks?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very poignant part of Black American self-hate. And so that's how Jonathan Majors looks. That's how Shannon Sharpe looks, right? And so
Yeah.
what was the issue with Jonathan Majors? White woman, Black man, he attacked me, lose his whole career. Shannon Sharpe, Black man, white woman, is in the process of
And this is
losing.
such a coincidence that they're talking about this, and then a couple of, a year later, this happens.
Right. Because Shannon was lying about who he really is. And so they seek validation in being with their, who they claim is their oppressor and their ops, being with his daughter, being with his sperm cell. And they get off on mistreating her. It's like a get back for slavery and Jim Crow, or just not being accepted, and they want to be the top man in the United States, or at least equal and equitable to white men. Well, honey, have you watched Animal Planet? You must not have watched. What's the station I'm thinking of? Chair, Chief.
National Geographic.
National Geographic and Animal Planet and stuff. Sweetheart. The insect kingdom fights. Yes, the ants, the bee. They
I
get
gotta
into.
go. I gotta go off for a moment.
Okay. Oh man, right at the park. Well,
I'll come back. I'll come back real quick.
Okay. So everything on this planet fight. I was making the correlation that even in the summer and spring, when all the pollen hit, that's the tree's way of fighting and promoting its genetic code to plant new trees. And so my thing with Black men is, sweetheart, white men are not going to just hand you anything. You're going to have to fight for it. And fighting Black women is not going to get you the outcome that you're looking for. Oh, also, I know we don't have a lot of people watching the stream, but if you want to come up, the link is in the description box. You're welcome to come up. Just keep your comments respectful. Don't say anything bad about me. You can't disagree with me. Just be respectful. Losing my voice. But yeah, so anyway, fighting against Black women, we're not your issue. We're not your rival. We're not your counterpart in that way. So white women would be my counterpart. But again, all of these things are psychological. I don't sit up at night. White women are not living in my head rent free. Oh, I'm so worried and wondering about what white women got, what white women is doing, and white women is taking all my men. These men don't belong to me, and they have a right to date. Black men do not belong to me. They are a free, sovereign human being. And they have a right to date, love, marry, have children with whomever they want to. It's none of my business. Now, I don't want to see any woman be hurt or harmed by anyone. Thank you, especially a man. I don't want any woman to be hurt or harmed. I don't like the fact that also a lot of these white women get with these Black men and they are hurt and harmed.
It's not sincere. It's not because, oh, I just love you as a person. It's, oh, I like that you're a part of this people group, and this people group did something to me, 1,000 years ago, and now I'm gonna take it out on you because you're that phenotype. It's not based in love.
Come on. Speak to
it. It's based in dominance and control.
And then Megan Good, sidebar. So Cat Williams says, and bless this Black woman, Megan Good, for coming along and helping Jonathan Majors. Now, it seems like Megan actually loves him, and that's fine. That's great. Again, it's none of my business. I have nothing to do with it. But
She
just
shouldn't
look.
have married him.
Okay, let me finish this and then you can tell me why. With the white woman, it was disastrous. And he got jammed and slammed up and damn near lost everything, including his drawers. So now it's okay to be with the black woman, the beautiful, beautiful black woman. Now it's okay to be with her. Now it's okay to marry her. And I'm not going to say he never dated black women before. I don't know his dating history. I don't know Jonathan Majors well. I just know it's not a good look that when you were on top of the world, you had the white woman. And because you and she had an incident and it got a little handsy and some smoke went down, now here comes the black woman. And that's my qualm with Ados and with Yvette Carnell. I'm not going to attempt to be in community with someone that doesn't want to be in community with me until his ass is in a trick bag.
Exactly. It just came off wrong, and that's why I just didn't want her to marry him.
So you have some more you want to say, or you want me to continue to play the video?
You can continue to play the video.
And I have to say it over and over and over again on this channel. We hold accountable also, because if we don't, who will? And Shannon Sharpe, I see ESPN fired you, but don't worry, we'll talk about that later on in this video. And at first, I took it real easy.
Let me clear this up. ESPN did not fire him. He walked
They gave
away.
him the option. Yeah, they gave him the option to just like resign for a while.
Yeah, we know that behind closed doors, but ESPN has not put out a statement at all. So everybody that's running around saying ESPN fired him is actually not true. What I think is happening is, ESPN is owned by Disney, and he and his lawyer probably talked about it. And it would be a good idea for him to step down until they go to trial. If I owned the company and I had an employee, well, I do own the company, but if I had an employee who had this situation, I wouldn't fire them. I would wait to the trial. He has not been convicted by a jury of his peers or a magistrate. So once you're convicted, then it's like, okay, buddy, you're a convicted sexual, perpetrator, abuser. So I have to let you go. You can't stay here and represent me. I was saddened when all of this first broke with Shannon.
This is so sad.
Because contrary to popular opinion, I do not hate black men. And I have 2 black sons. Partially black, Puerto Rican too, but we're white Spaniards. But I do not hate black men. I do not hate anybody on the planet. I hate individuals. If you show you hate me, I hate you in return. And also, I want to see people winning. I like to see people winning of whatever race, gender, sexual orientation. I want to see you winning. So, hey, Black Girl Magic was supporting Black Boy Joy. But he could not get control and a hold of his sexual proclivities. And I see this a lot with men. We saw with Bill Clinton. It's just like, man, if high levels of testosterone does you like this, I don't want it. I don't want high levels of testosterone because it is driving men insane. And your trauma, Shannon needed to go to therapy years ago. But I'll finish the video. I'll finish the video.
Easy on you with that other video. Then it dawned on me, you are real life. I mean, you was on Undisputed. You was really on Undisputed, doing your best tap dancing with a bottle of liquor and a Blackie Mile. Make it make sense. And that was only level 3 tap dancing. And then you use your podcast to gossip and create more division in the black community. More tap dancing. But Shannon, I can't even lie. This one took the cake. Remember, Kyron Lacey had to turn himself in because they falsely accused him of murder. And instead of you speaking up for that young black man, you made it worse. Run the tape.
Illegally passing up.
Now, I don't find Shannon to have created more division in the black community. A lot of people were upset with that Cat Williams interview.
Cat Williams just told the truth. Shannon, I do like Club Shay Shay a little bit because Shannon he's not the typical annoying interviewer that asks uncomfortable questions, trying to be messy and salacious and make their interviewee upset. Shannon is kind of like a friend that you would just sit down and, open up Jack Daniels to and just drink and talk. And so Cat Williams did all of that. He talked about all of that. He brought it up.
I've been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, paid the price.
That's what Cat Williams did. Mm-hmm. And he shouldn't be blamed for that. That's the one thing I'll give Shannon all for. Other than that, he's gonna get roasted.
I know dealing with you, he's gonna get roasted over an open flame. So I want all the smoke. Hit it, cheeks. I want all the smoke. I want
all the smoke. I want everything.
Go ahead. Say what don't you say? Sing
it. Oh yeah. I want all the smoke. I want all the fights. I want all the tension.
And you other Negroes do too.
Other vehicles at a high rate of speed by crossing the center lane and entered an oncoming lane in a no passing zone. A truck swerved to avoid colliding with Lacey. The vehicle and vehicles behind it collided head on with another vehicle going in the opposite direction. Following the crash, Lacey drove around the crash scene, fled south on Louisiana Highway 20 without stopping to render aid, call emergency services, or report the involvement in the crash, according to police documents.
Hey, man.
Ocho.
You can't.
Ocho, I know he know what happened to Ruggs. I know he know. He had to see that, Ocho. In a situation like this, yes, Ocho, where they get you is that you fail to render aid. You fail to call because the definition of a crime is an act or a failure to act where there's a responsibility to act. You in this situation, you got a responsibility now. And he neglected his responsibility. Hey, call. Hey, man, even if you don't, Ocho, if you just call, now what you should have done is stop, try to call 911. Hey, what's your emergency? There's a serious car accident that happened, blah, blah, blah. I ain't telling you nothing. I'm going to get me an attorney. I'm going to call my attorney. As soon as I get the phone with you, I'm calling an attorney. Hey, man, there's this bad accident and I was involved. So I'm probably going to keep my mouth shut, but I'm just letting you know.
So to me, again, these interviews further show that Shannon, he's not, what I was going to say, not dumb, but clearly he just did some dumb things with his lower member just by entertaining this woman. That was not smart.
She's just not ready. She just wasn't ready. She was, she fit the stereotype of being young, extremely young and inexperienced. She just wasn't ready for all of that.
Okay, so I'm gonna speed up. Let me see so that we can drum roll. Give me a drum roll, Cheeks. Where's my drum roll? You just left me hanging. That's it.
I don't know. I didn't know you want me to pull up some sort of sound clip or do it in my mouth.
Hold on. Just by mouth, but hold on. Wait a minute. Not yet. Don't give me drum roll.
Cat Williams told you in 2 weekends they can take you down. and you laugh. Now look all around you, all the enemies you created in the black community. You talk down on black men who had a 9-to-5 job. You talk down on black women. You helped to crucify Kyron Lacey before he even got a fair trial. Make it make sense. So no, you can't use your black card now. Your black card has been revoked. But before I make myself too damn angry, let's get into this article. And this article is by Associated Press. It was published April 24th, 2025, yesterday. Shannon Sharpe is stepping away temporarily from ESPN amid SA lawsuit. Former NFL star Shannon Sharpe said Thursday he is stepping away temporarily from his ESPN duties while he deals with what he called false allegations in a $50 million civil lawsuit filed against him by a woman who alleges he all-word her.
Yes, right. So I just wanted to put that little piece in. Oh, here we go. Drum roll. This is your first
Oh God.
page. Oh my gosh. This is why they are on Shannon Sharpe's ass. Is 18 grown, age of majority? Yes, but when you see this woman, oh my good. Okay, hit it again, cheeks. Drum roll.
It's set for July 31st. And Shannon Sharpe, I'm gonna tell you this, bro, it's over.
That's her, Gabriella Zuniga, and she's on our OnlyFans as Carly. Now, how old does she look to you in this picture?
She looks young. She reminds me of Sue from The Substance.
But give it an age range.
She looks like an adult.
Give me a range. Give me a guess.
She looks her age. She looks like she's about 19 to 23 years old.
Yeah, she's 21 now.
Yeah. She looks like she's in that age bracket.
Now, and this may be, I don't know what year this photo was taken. This may be recent, okay? So she's 21 now. She must have an early birthday because she's 21, or maybe she's going to be 22 this year. Okay, so she looks a little bit more mature in this picture. Let's keep going. Let's see what you think about the next one.
Over. What were you thinking? You thinking?
Okay, drum roll.
You thought Master was gonna let you get away with
this one? How old does she look in this picture to you?
She looks young, but she don't look that young, like extremely young, like what everyone was freaking out about. I was expecting to see a baby face and all this stuff.
So she looks like a full-grown adult woman to you, because I didn't get that.
She looks youthful. She looked youthful. I mean, she looked like the girl that played Sue in The Substance.
But when I see her in this one in particular, 19, maybe because some of us are older, she does not look, maybe we don't remember what we looked like at 19, because she doesn't look 19 to me. I mean, she could easily pay, especially, I'm losing my voice, especially if she had on maybe a more modest bikini or swimsuit.
Yeah, if she had a more modest, like, swimwear, and if she looked, I don't know, if she like did like a more profile picture, I could probably see her face good.
But don't you think she could be in a movie and easily play? Because this is what they used to do in the 80s and 90s all the time, especially in the 80s. They had adults playing the teenage roles. Don't you think she could pass for 15 or 16?
Yes. She could. Unfortunately, age is sometimes a number.
I mean, I can't tell Shannon what to be attracted to, right? I have what I'm attracted to. Everybody has what they're attracted to, but I mean, I would have thought And I think that's part of it. And again, this is we're all just, coming to terms with this because at the end of the day, what has to be kept at the forefront is that she has accused him of non-consensual sex, and that's what's most important. She is of the age of majority. So what is most important is that she has accused him of brutality. And we as a human collective and civilized society, we have rules against brutality that keeps us from being savages. And we are her recourse. And we are any victim's recourse. So that is what's paramount here. But the age does factor in because I'm going to play my video again. What she keeps saying in the audio is, you are trying to manipulate me. She did not understand the rules of engagement for BDSM. How could she when she was fresh out of high school? How could she? So again, maybe in his mind it was not brutality, but for her it was. And this fact is we got to just have a whole dissertation about all of this and Black men's behavior, especially wealthy Black men's behavior. HIV house in Virginia rates amongst the Black American community that I know a year ago they were going up, they were on the rise. It has been prevalent, a lot of Black men coming in and out of prison, spreading the house in Virginia. We don't know what does Shannon protect himself?
Right.
This has always been my issue with hypergamy. I mean, Left Eye tried to show you that in the 90s we don't go chasing waterfalls.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Yes.
Because he was a good looking guy and he had $3,000 suits on and stuff, but he had the house in Virginia. And I'm saying the house in Virginia for those who don't know, because you can't always say some of these things on YouTube, but take the first letter of each word, house in Virginia. And what acronym do you get? You get H-I, Virginia. Okay? So and we send love and light to anyone that has contracted the house in Virginia, living with the house in Virginia. We send you nothing but love, light, peace, and grace, and that you continue to have a good life and health. But we all know, and I think anyone who has the house in Virginia would not want someone else, if they are sound mind, they wouldn't want someone else to have to live with the house in Virginia. And so, again, white women need to come to the front of the classroom. Why? So, Black women, you think this is all about you? Because I want to jump across the fence. I want to jump across the fence and talk to my white sisters, my white American sisters. Why do you continue to mess around with these Black men? I'm going to get some stuff started today. Why do you continue to mess around?
Oh my goodness.
Why do you continue to mess around with these Black men? They're throwing your heads through TVs. They're leaving you with biracial children. You're white. You grew up white. You eat white. You live white. That's your culture. There's nothing wrong with that. Now you have a baby because you believe that this man loves you. Now you have a baby that doesn't look like you, that you got to explain some different cultural things to. The Black person that helped make that baby, that biracial baby, needs to be there to explain these things to this child. It's not your responsibility as a white mother to try to explain to this child how to be Black in a white racist world, white supremacist world. You can go so far, but that's not your experience. So yes, to my white sisters, I want to know why this is not the men of your. This is not your male counterpart. Why do you continue to deal with black men? Where's your self-esteem too? Let's get real. Let's get real. Where's your self-esteem? So you mean that you're willing to sell your soul for 30 pieces of silver? Now this young lady right here, she was very young. She was very young. But to any white woman that I would say is 25 years on up, come on in the room. Let's have a talk. Come on in the room. Let's have a talk. I don't care if these are the men of my people group or not.
What I think
I,
it just boils down to is that a lot of young people, including myself, we're not given a lot of opportunities lately. The job market has been looking very scarce. And so the only thing to do is to get on social media, is to get, become a YouTuber and stuff of that nature, or in her case, an OnlyFans girl. And what's sad is that she has to use her body to basically eat. And that's a
if,
failure of the system.
if that's the case, you don't know that that's the case, Chief. But I hear you, you're not wrong, but we don't know what her personal finances look like. But we know that a lot of white women get with black men when they're in college, these athletes, or afterwards, or like someone like Shannon Sharpe or black male entertainers. And they are being beaten, SA, left with biracial children. You're putting yourself through unnecessary stress. Let me tell you what the femicide rates say. Femicide rates say that every 19 hours, a white man unalives a white woman in the United States. The femicide rates say that every six, I think the FBI says 6.5, but Black Black Femicide Coalition, right? Who was started by the black female nurse, black woman nurse. She has her numbers at 4.5 hours. So let's just take an average between the two. 6.5 hours by the FBI, 4.5 by Black Femicide Coalition. If we took 5.5 hours, if we took 6.5 hours, it's high. It's high. So what do you believe? You believe because you're white that he won't hurt you? You believe that you're better than me because you're 100% white and I'm like 30% white? Yeah, because I'm a descendant of slavery. Get used to it. It's real. So anyway, and I phenotypically present as black American. Okay. So you think he won't hurt you? You think he won't make you a single mom? You think he won't leave you with the responsibility of having to take care of a whole human, financially, emotionally, educationally, and spiritually by yourself? And you're watching it play out in real time, and you continue to deal with this man. When you have a man who has better statistics and a better resume than him, why are you here? Paul. Paul, why are you here? So the allegations is that he choked her and sodomized her. He choked her and stuck it anally. I could only imagine at 21. What I wanted to show her was because she's quite thin. And Shannon has to weigh almost 300 pounds.
That's a lot of weight on top of you.
And she looks like she's all of 110, 106, soaking wet. I had an issue last night when I saw her and I further listened to things. I had about 15 minutes where I just I was disturbed and I couldn't sleep because when I was running a scenario in my mind of the two incidents and what that must have been like for her to have that happen and happen no less in her back door while he was choking her. And then you'll get some men and you'll get some black men saying, well, she liked it. She must have liked it. They might have did that before. Well, and some women like that. Some do. But in that instance,
A
those
lot of young people don't know how to use their voice. A lot of girls don't know how to use their voice. They don't know how to say stop or no and really just be like aggressive with it. They don't know how to use their voice. And this is how these type of things happen.
right. And because of the age gap, I think that there was a level of her looking at him like her freaking dad or granddad. She sounds intimidated of him to me. And that's what I was saying to you when I was like, when I heard the call, what I also heard was irritation on his part. When she said, you're trying to manipulate me, you're trying to manipulate me. And that's something I've heard a lot of young women say. And this is another thing that people talked about because, I'm in my late 40s. Young people, a lot of young people in their 20s, they get on my nerves. I'm past that stage in life. So I was saying it's not always just about the amount of years the age gap is. It is where the younger person is in their stage of life. If I'm with a man who's 35, who's been married, divorced, and has two children, and he owns a condo or he has an apartment, he understands what it means to be married. He understands the ups and downs. He's had a substantial relationship in his life. He knows what it's like to be a parent and have to manage all of that. Somebody 19, though it's legal, they don't have that life experience. What do you have? What commonality do you have outside of sexual things of a sexual nature? And because you just have so much more life experience over them, you can manipulate them even if you don't mean to. Now, that is one thing I do agree with that Yvette Carnell's take on this. You may not mean them any harm. You may actually love them, but it's things that you can just see that they can't see because you're 30 years older. I'm not going to lie to you. If this is true, I just feel like whooping Shannon's ass. I'm not going to lie to you. He need his ass whooped. That's the reality. Black men don't like the legal system. You better love the legal system because if it wasn't for the legal system, baby, you think things is getting handled in people's own hands now? If that was my kiddo and
It'll be
she
a
said
witch hunt.
such and such and such and such went down, yeah, we'll be trying to meet Shannon. We will be trying to meet Shannon and greet Shannon. Yeah, I went to college and all of that, and I stay in my house because I told you, you got two instances in the United States. You can either go to prison or you can go to college. You know, and I would try to rectify in my mind, like, well, my daughter she's grown and she made these decisions, but you brutalized her. She said no, and you brutalized her. And see, that's the sticking point that comes in about BDSM. No doesn't mean no in BDSM. And so I kept looking for what they have shown thus far. Did they have a safe word?
It doesn't even say they established a safe word because she didn't use it.
Right.
He just went in on her.
Yes. You know, may she recover if this is true. It, currently is all alleged. But if this is true, may she recover. May she go on to have a healthy, happy, functioning life. May she go on to meet a man who loves her, values her, and appreciates her. Or woman. I don't know what her sexual orientation is, but it looks like it's hetero for now. So whatever she is attracted to, I wish her nothing but the best if this is true. Now, if she's lied on this man, you know, may karma come and get her. But if this is true, I wish her nothing but the best. The same way I believe Cassie with Diddy. I believe Cassie. We've seen the tape. We've watched Diddy stop a mud hole into Cassie in that hotel.
Yes. And he blew up Kid Cudi's car because she was trying to date him.
Because he was holding her against her will. That is the one thing that old raggedy head Umar Johnson, other raggedy head ass black men don't get, or you don't want to get it. And that's why I don't kick it with you like that. That's why I don't kick it with black men like that. That's why I stay in my house to myself. I don't kick it with you. And you're the men of my ethnic group, and I don't kick it with you. And I didn't just get to this point in life. Quick sidebar, Chief. Now, I told you this story before. So, I lived in the south suburbs of Chicago for a while when I was in high school. And it was a racially diverse area. And I had a friend, uh, a white girl. And so I think we were in computer lab or something one day. So it's like three or four of us black girls, and then there's this white girl. And she really loves black people. Oh, you know, at the time, right? She identifies with black people so much. Girl, I am just living my life and trying to get through my childhood. I promise you that you can trust and believe, okay? And so she she was dating this black boy. Her father was a bigot. He didn't like it. He threw her against the wall. He choked her. She
Wow.
worked at the Dunkin' Donuts, and you know, people of color don't get along in the United States, and so the Dunkin' Donuts was owned by an Indian family, and she had some of her black friends come up there to Dunkin' Donuts. A lot of them were boys, keep in mind. And the Indians told her that she couldn't do that. Now, number one, we're kids. Okay, she's not getting it. But every job lets you know, no fraternization. You can't have your homies come kicking it with you at work. So it could have been racial. It could have just been structural. It could have been a little bit of both. So anyway, her father threw her into the wall, choked her, slammed her up and everything over dating this black boy. And she's talking to us about it. She's sitting right next to me because we had two classes together. And she's sitting right next to me, and then it's like two other black girls sitting right across from us. And so she's telling us all her woe it's me stories. And I said to her, "Does your daddy house you?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Does your daddy feed you?" She said, "I got a job." I said, "Sweetheart, that little bit of money that you make at Dunkin' Donuts, you can't pay rent. We are 17. Nobody's going to give you an apartment at 17. Do you think that black boy that you kicking it with is going to pay your rent for you, buy you a car. And she was like, well, he's young too. He's only 20. Right? First of all, he was 20. She's making excuses for him. I said, But see, my life had been lifing for a long time. And I said, sweetheart, we can't financially take care of ourselves right now. We need our parents. If your father is housing you, feeding you, then you just got to play the role until you graduate and stop dating a black woman. And she couldn't believe that I said that as a black girl. She couldn't believe I said that. Sheree, no, you're wrong. Why would you? I said, because this is about self-preservation, darling. You got to put you first. F him and his friends, F him coming up to your job, you getting him free dunking holes and stuff. No. I would not let anybody come in between my food, clothes, and shelter. It ain't a penis that's that good in the world. That thing must be made out of gold. And if it is made out of gold, I'm just gonna melt it, break it down, sell it, baby. I'm what? What? And that's what I want to see all women get back to. Put yourself first. Love is great, but it's a second-hand emotion. If it don't make money, it don't make sense. And that's Shannon's problem right here. It didn't make no money and it didn't make no sense. If you choking people and essaying people.
Exactly.
Well, he got millions of women didn't want to have sex with him, but no, he got to have a certain phenotype, looking a certain way. Okay, I get that too. But she was with you. It's not like she didn't like you. But you got to break her down. You got to take it. You got to give her the rip. So again, you know, if it was my kiddo, we'd be in front of Shannon Sharpe's house. I show him what Chicago do. We would be in front of Shannon Sharpe's house. I would happily and gladly do the perk walk. You violated my daughter through her back door. While you were choking her. No, Yvette Carney, I don't need black men to defend me. I'm from Chicago. I know how to defend me and my family. We would be in front of Shannon's house. He'd have to get a restraining order against me, and I'd gladly take it. I would go to court. I would gladly get the restraining order. Because this Negro needs to know that somebody in the world loves this girl. And I love my baby.
You gotta calm down. You gotta calm down.
And how dare you think you're going to walk around on my planet Earth in a comfortable manner after you gave my daughter the rip? We'd be at his house. No, forget Shannon. Because when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, he said that Will wouldn't have got the chance to just turn around and walk away. That they would have been rolling.
I just don't want you to get too emotionally invested because, you know, it's still up in the air. We still just don't know.
Well, like I said, she could be lying, and if she's lying, may karma come around to her. May Shannon be totally vindicated, and I can do a live, and I can do a video where I'm like, Shannon, I apologize, but right now I have nothing to apologize for. But thank you for saying that, though. But I have nothing to apologize for because I have said that in the video. He has not been convicted by a magistrate or nor a jury of his peers. Currently, all of this is allegedly. I'm just giving my perspective on interracial dating, age gap, and brutality, femicide, brutality from male to female. Now, see, if she had given him what Obaselli got, then all these black women, they'll be out here crying and stuff too. He needed to, he needed to get a little taste. Maybe he didn't need to be in the bed with the toe tag. Maybe he needed a scratch or something. That you don't do this to women. You're not going to continue to do this to women and think you're going to walk on the planet Earth in a comfortable manner. But that's women's fault, because until you stop having certain behaviors, until you stop begging men for money, until you stop being willing to do anything with your mouth and your other holes for money, for 30 pieces of silver, you're going to keep finding yourselves in these different type of scenarios. Put your clothes on. And I know no people group is a monolith. All women are not a monolith. But your worth is not in your tits and your ass. I don't care what no man says about that. I don't care what any man says about that. What do you think about you? And see, I can't give it to you. I can't love you more than you love you. I don't know you. I don't live with you. I don't kick it with you. I can't love you more than you love yourself. I got 3 children to love of myself, and so I don't have the time to come and put you on my lap and hold you. You're going to have to reach down in yourself, take some time out, take a hiatus, take a year off from dating, take a year off from social media, come off OnlyFans, come off Instagram, come off Facebook. Get a bullshit a break.
Yes.
Go figure out who you are. It's nothing wrong with wanting to be seen as attractive by people that you want to be seen as attractive by. It's nothing wrong with wanting to be seen as beautiful, pretty. It's nothing wrong with getting your hair done, nails done, makeup. Hey, I'm fancy too. You fancy, huh? It's nothing wrong with that. But who are you doing it for? And it's nothing wrong with compliments. If you like men flirting, it's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying be mindful about how you moving in the world. What impression are you giving people in the world?
Exactly.
Because something told Shannon Sharpe that he could do this to you without repercussion. Where your daddy at? Where your brothers at? Where your mama at?
She probably don't have a very supportive family. Um, a lot of people are alone in the world, and a lot of people are just disconnected. A lot of these, I'm an outlier. I'm not, the typical young person that's, obsessed with Instagram. I'm obsessed with TikTok. I'm kind of an outlier. I'm, a little older than her, but I'm not obsessed with social media. I can still remember and appreciate a time where we didn't have all of this massive social media, and I don't feel like my life is attached to it. I have a life outside of it. But a
Your
lot of these But a
Go
lot
ahead.
of these people, a lot of these, people her age and just a lot of people feel like they're attached to social media and they just have to be on it and they just begin to lose a sense of self. And, like we said, it's the age, it's the size of Shannon. Shannon got some big ass arms and shit.
Yes, he does.
You know, she don't want him to punch her because I know that's gonna hurt.
Yes.
You're gonna feel like you've been hit by a car.
Smooth criminal.
So she's just scared, and so oh, a lot of people just did not teach their children the right thing.
Yeah.
They just didn't.
And girls in particular. What is this channel? The Awakening, Black Women United. And it's Black Women United because I'm a Black woman. But women of other races are welcome to come to this channel. You are welcome to come to the panel discussions. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to learn about your culture. I want to know about your experience. Men are welcome to come and talk too. Again, I hate no one, but I talk real. And if you can't handle real talk, then don't come. I will never disrespect you, nor do I want to be disrespected. That is how we grow when we have conversation. And as long as I can understand that, and you can too, that anybody can learn from anybody. It might be 99 things that you say that I disagree with, but it might be that one thing that saved my life that you said. You can get that from a pastor, a rabbi, an imam, a crackhead. A crackhead might tell you something that may save your life. So when we go into these big eyes versus little you situations, you didn't do nothing but hurt yourself. So again, I'm just saying that to say that, all people who are respectful are welcome to come on the panel. And baby, sometimes the more people as the channel grows and the more people that come, you will help me out because I could fall back some.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on today, Cheeks. I appreciate your take, on the situation. It's a
This
sad
highly
situation
controversial topic.
because of the intersectionality of it.
Yeah.
We got racial historical issues in the United States.
Yeah, that's real sticky. I really don't like talking about racial issues.
And then he went on to say in one of the calls, yeah, and when I see you, I might just choke you in the restaurant, choke you out in public. That'll be something. Big black man choking this little skinny white woman.
That is so abusive. That is so abusive and just sad and ridiculous. I mean, but before we go, I just wanted to, tap in and I wish you could have brought up that clip of him getting into it with Skip. And he could turn it into Skip.
Oh yes, yeah. Right.
Cause Skip made him feel less than. And he's like,
You
put
want me
your
to see if I
glasses
can
back
find it?
on.
You want me to see if I can find it real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So keep talking while I look for it.
Yeah, Skip ruined his whole, manhood and stuff, the little that he had left. Skip tore him down. And as big as Shannon is, I mean, he turned into a little dog. Skip! Skip! At that point, even Godfrey had to laugh.
Okay.
He's like, put your glasses back on. I mean, Skip was not afraid of Shannon, didn't care about his size or anything. Skip came for blood and destroyed
Dear
him.
Dr. K, I used to think I was never
These ads be something else. Ugh, that's Cam Newton.
Yes, he's another deplorable, degenerate MF. But black women tolerate it. Black women tolerate it. And again, I mean, we got the rule of law. I'm not gonna say black women can just get all these black men together because we can't. We don't have the ability. We don't have authority to. But okay, so that's not a good one. But what we can do is not
Because I mean,
allow
that
them.
short, that short was everywhere.
Don't allow them at the cookout. That's what we can do. See, we let them sell the drugs out the house. We let them sell the drugs out the garage, out the basement. We let them
Yep.
walk around with their pants hanging down. We let them shoot the club up and leave us with children, and we put up with their excuses. So, some of my greatest mentors, I'm black men, Dick Gregory. What Dick Gregory, the Honorable Richard Dick Gregory, I would say, you tolerate this.
Yep. You tolerate it.
You tolerate it. And if I was a white woman, I damn sure wouldn't tolerate it. For what? For what? I wouldn't let a white man beat me up and do all this other shenanigans, let alone a black man. You got to be joking. Why would I let a black man beat me up and my grandfather drug his grandfather halfway around the world? Oops.
Oh, ooh. Oh.
Oops. Oopsie. I did it again. I feel like Britney Spears. Oops. I did it again. I stepped on your black pride. I did it again. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I wouldn't, and I don't have to entertain him. I could feel bad. I could empathize with black people on a human level, for what we've gone through. I could say what my grandparents, what my great, 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 great or ancestors did to your ancestors was not humanly kind. I can't find the chief. It's not, and we get ready to get off here, but it's not humanly kind. But I do not, and I would not deal with a black guy out of some type of guilt. And watch your fetishes. I just want to know what a black man feel like.
Not much. It's not.
Okay.
It's not even. It's not even worth all of that. It's just not.
And I bet they did not always use protection because they called themselves being in a relationship. Well, he seems to have a lot of relationships. Now, this other woman claims that he took himself and just shoved himself into her mouth, and that she put up with that because she didn't want him to give her the rip.
Wow.
So she thought it would be better if she just let him shove himself into her mouth. So I can't watch Club Shay Shay anymore until this gets cleared up. I don't look at him the same anymore. I can't watch Nightcap. He ruined his brain.
And Ocho. Ocho was already bad. And that was already I guess, a red flag, as they say, a bad sign that he let Ocho be on his show after his domestic charges and stuff. He's abusive. That's why nobody likes football players. It's okay to be a brute. Football is one of the most brutal sports ever.
Yes. Yes, it is. And a lot of them have participated in them roids.
Yep.
He could just be a little mentally Lulu because we don't know what he did. You know, they they used to say they was testing for the roids and everything, but people get packed. People get bad. People they pay people. You know, they pay people. They pay people for their urine. They paid people to say their test came back negative when they knew they was positive. It's a lot to this. We don't know. All I can say is the world that you think you live in is just it's just 9 times out of 10. It's really not the world that you really live in. It's really not. And you gotta keep your head on a swivel, and you gotta be 16 sharp.
Yeah.
You got to put you first. That's one thing I've never liked about this society was that we're always taught to love something outside of ourselves. We're taught from infants, from toddlers, to be codependent. We're not taught how to be interdependent. We're taught how to be codependent.
But
And
what's the fun in that? Then I have you beg to my knees. See?
right, what you said, what's the fun in that? Say ain't no fun, huh? Right?
For these people.
Then, a lot of these men that you think are good men, you will find out he's really not a good guy, or he thinks women ask for it. He got something slick and crazy to say. You'll be surprised. You would be surprised. And it might be your
You
husband.
playing it again?
No, I'm playing the end. Might be your daddy. You just don't know. Okay, so I'm going to play this and we're going to head out. Thank you for coming in. We didn't have a big turnout today, but it's okay. Step by step. Sign off. Holla
Okay.
at you, Chief.
An audio recording where Sharpe allegedly threatens Doe. This isn't the first time Sharpe has faced such allegations. Michelle Evans, in a separate New York lawsuit, alleges that Sharpe sexually assaulted her back in 2010 after an argument. Evans claims that Sharpe forcibly assaulted her and threatened to ruin her reputation. Sharpe's representatives have called these accusations ridiculous and completely without merit. In response to these recent allegations, ESPN has supported Sharpe's decision to temporarily step away from his duties. He plans to return for the 2025 NFL preseason. Sharpe's legal team argues that these allegations are concocted to take advantage of his fame. They continue to threaten defamation suits against his accusers. Sharpe is innocent until convicted by a jury of his peers. This situation is ongoing and will keep you updated as more details emerge. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please don't hesitate to reach out to the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit rain.org. This has been The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Sherry Danny. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Stay safe and stay informed.
Goodbye.